season's greetings of Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. This is Frida Rionetta. I welcome you back to my 12 Days of Christmas Lore video series where I discuss Yuletide trivia and dealing with different aspects of the holidays. And on this fourth day of Christmas, I present you Reindeer, myth versus reality. And first, we'll look at the place of the story. Well, the first time we ever hear that they are synonymous with Santa Claus, this is where they first come in. However, the first time they ever appeared was in a story was in 1821. And old son tells with much delight. Not sure if I pronounced that right or not. But in that case, the Santa sleigh was pulled by one reindeer. Not sure it was even named yet. It's only until we get to a visit from St. Nicholas, or as we know today as was the night before Christmas, that we get the 8 and name them. On Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Dunder and Blitzen. That's right, the original one. Donner didn't have Dunder and Blitzen as the last one. It was later. It was only later editions where they had more English-like names that they had Donner and Blitzen. Though it should be interesting to note though, in the later book that came out around I forget when there was a story called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. I think it's actually a collection of stories, but in that one, they list out the names of 10 reindeer, and none of them are the 10 names listed before. No Dasher, no Dancer, no Prancer, no Vixen, no Comet, no Cupid, no Donner, no Dunder, or no Blitzen, and certainly no Blitzen. And certainly none of the last edition that came out in like 1920, the most famous reindeer of all, Rudolph. Oh, and for the life of me, I could not find what the names actually were for that particular. Now, but here is an interesting question. Why deer? Why not, like, say, a horse or even cattle? Like, say, more contests again. Well, for one thing, these are creatures whose home are in the northernmost parts, are all in areas that are in or border the Arctic Circle, mainly North America, North Europe, and the Russian areas such as Siberia and such. So they're built for the colder climate where live. Another thing, as a as the supernatural entity that Chris Kringle has become. It'd be far too pedestrian, like for writers to just say he had like a force or something. Also, it would make more sense, like as for all those areas you're talking about, would be like closer to where he reportedly lives in the North Pole. Wild horses do not live up there. And I think and I'm not even sure if any things like bison or stuff can live up there. Any horse that has been domesticated, and while reindeer are domesticated, are highly domesticated too. Okay, they definitely also still have quite a wild presence. So it would be so you could usually like this was available to him. This brings us to what biology says about the reindeer, or as they're also known as, especially in America, like when not dealing with holidays, caribou. Obviously, a mammal or class mammalian. And they are of the order Artiodactyl, the family of Cervidae. I have keep in mind I try to follow these pretty quick, so I don't have time to practice. And some of these things, the practice probably won't help. There are subfamily Capreolinae of the tribe. I forget how many different classifications animals can have, life forms can have. Tribe and of the genus Rangifer, which is interesting to know that one, as reindeer are the only members of that particular genus. Like I said, they live nearly exclusively in northern, in the top part of the northern hemisphere, especially in areas that are relatively close to the Arctic Circle, and they themselves are known to be both wandering creatures. They both be wandering creatures and can also have a set territorial ranges, areas where they dwell. So they can both find home or a place to roam. Now, what sets them apart from the males and females of the species apart from the obvious is that what sets them apart from our deer, I should say, is that both males and females have antlers, so you cannot tell gender just by whether or not they have antlers or not. No, from what I've read, like subspecies of reindeer. The sizes of female orange particularly vary more, and the males usually have larger antlers all along, like the big ones you classically see with Santa ones. Another big difference, though, is um, that they both will shed their antler. Both males and females shed their antlers at different times of the year. Females will generally shed in the spring, while males will shed in the fall after mating season, and they no longer need to buck heads. So, and that would be. But wait 1 second! Every depiction of Santa's reindeers always depicts them as having these great big antlers and stuff, which you do tend to see with males and stuff, like more like they usually have the bigger ones. With the exception of Rudolph, who's usually young because they're younger and stuff, and therefore wouldn't have it. You know? However, if you recall, just previous season is when they've shed their antlers and are starting to, and only now are growing new ones. So meaning in winter, the ones with the large antlers are the females. And while the other distinguishing male versus female feature wouldn't be shown in like seasonal like artwork or stuff. The fact that does indicate that potentially all of Santa's reindeer could be female. And if you go back to the original names, all those names are very gender neutral. Well, if you look at the original, the first 8 named, even when we consider the name change there, some of them I would even say are leaning more towards feminine in some cases. But some do, but they would still solidly get you in gender neutral. And so there was really nothing in the old stories to say what, and the other stories that feature the reindeer say what gender are. So with that in the biology, that ain't no bucks. Which, quite frankly, puts this particular scene from the original stop motion Rudolph just into new perspective.
For his little buck. Mrs. Donner wanted to go along, naturally, but Donner said, "No, this is man's work."
Are you quite sure? Well, on the semi-plus side between that particular line, and actually not care enough to ignore what other people say and actually go after him, I must say, yes, it's Donner in this one. Way to grow a pair. And with that, I end this particular video. Anyway, here listed are my primary information source, as well as the where I got the artwork for the background. background music, and also which will also and also a link in this we shown in link in the description, and as well as a link to that particular to the Rudolph the if only for to avoid copyright problems. I think I actually had to pay to get that. Well, something that showed that scene. To pay for the full movie to actually get that scene. So no guarantee that you will actually show anything, but so to avoid the copyright. And don't forget to like this video, comment, and if you're feeling in the Christmas spirit, in the Christmas cheer, subscribe, and also share, if you will. You know, and remember, on the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in the pear tree. To be continued.